Hello and welcome back everyone to Adobe Live, and I'm here with Patricia again. So we were live yesterday already. If you missed it, we quickly introduce ourselves again. So I'm the UX UI evangelist for Adobe in the UK. And Patricia, you want to introduce yourself quickly?
Hi Steph. Hello everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us today again. So my name is Patricia Reiners. I am an innovation designer based in Berlin and former Adobe creative resident.
Brilliant. And I'm based in London, and we did a stream together yesterday already about our Winter Wonderland, which was a 1-week workshop that we hosted 2 weeks ago. And we showed our top 5 winning teams as well yesterday. Hey. But today we go into phase 2, and Patricia is doing prototyping and wireframing in Adobe XD and visual design.
Yeah, excited for that. This is also a super important part of the design process, right? Like we spend so much time on the concept and coming up with the idea and wireframes and everything. So we already know what we want to build. We already know about the different features. So now is a great time to start with prototyping and design. And we will go through all the different steps and also share a few tips and tricks with you. So yeah, will hopefully be super helpful for you. But before we start, for everyone who is new today, so who hasn't joined yesterday already, if you want to learn more about us, we are both on Behance, so make sure to check us out. I'm going to share my screen with you now, so you can just see it here. So here's the Behance page from Stephanie. She has a lot of Behance case studies there, a lot of free resources you can download, so make sure to check that out. And also, I'm also on Behance, right? So if you want to see what I'm doing, make sure to check out the different case studies. I'm doing a lot of AR, VR things, I would say. And yeah, most of the things are focused on the future, immersive technologies, and I'm also on Instagram, Stephanie as well. So make sure to follow us because I think we share really great content. We are always happy to chat. So if you have questions for us, make sure to say hi on Instagram. We love to connect. So just that as a little intro, right? Or do you want anything to add, Stephanie?
Yeah, just if you guys have any questions, pop them in the chat and I'll read them out to Patricia or also to me. If you still have questions from yesterday, for example, then feel free to ask them. So we are here 1 hour to answer them.
Yes. And yeah, I mean, whatever kind of questions, Stephanie is also a designer, and only because I am doing the design part doesn't mean that Stephanie is not a visual designer also, right? So we are doing that as a team. So feel free to ask questions to both of us. I think it's really interesting because our background is quite different. So we are seeing design decisions and design, the design process from different angles. So that's also really interesting, right? Because that's how design usually works. So I would say let's get started, right? I'm going to show you real quick what we have done already. So here it is. Oh, you see here. Okay, so the whole live stream, so yesterday and today, is about the Winter Wonderland workshop. We talked about that yesterday already. This was a 1-week workshop. Stephanie and me hosted 2 weeks ago. And the goal was to guide the participants through all the steps or not all the steps, but the most important steps of design thinking, and come up with a concept and a prototype for a real problem. And the whole topic was about the winter wonderland. We all know that because of COVID, almost everything that's fun got cancelled, right? And we thought, what could we as designers do, or what could be a solution to bring the winter wonderland really to the people, and maybe we summarize everything what we did yesterday, super briefly. Maybe Stephanie, do you want to do a super brief summary of all the steps we went through? Otherwise, I'm also happy to do that.
No, of course I can do. So we started with the expert interview, where I interviewed Patricia about her previous experience with the Winter Wonderland. So what is she doing when she visits Christmas markets and the Winter Wonderland? What are her friends doing? And then the teams were listening to all the answers that she was giving and turning every problem they could hear into a how might we question. So she's saying, I can't go to the Winter Wonderland because it's cancelled, and what I liked most about it was meeting my friends to drink mulled wine together, for example. So we turned that into a question: how might we get Patricia back together with her friends virtually to drink mulled wine together, for example? So every problem that we hear, we turn into a how might we question. Then the second part was ideation, which is to the right. And we tried to find answers to every single post-it that was how might we question, and every post-it in the ideation part is like an answer to a how might we question. So it didn't necessarily mean that one how might we question gets one idea. It can be multiple ideas for one, and so on. So this is how we built this entire artboard. Then on day 2, it was about prioritization. And in the prioritization plot, every team member chose their favorite idea from the ideation block and copied and pasted it over in the prioritization plot. And then the team voted which idea is the most important as an answer to the how might we question, and which one is the most feasible in terms of money, how expensive it is to build, or also do we have the technology to build it? Can we build it in XD, or do we need something bigger that we can't afford, let's say, for example, VR goggles or something like that. And then in the next step, we drafted the winning ideas, which are in the top right corner usually. In the next step, we drafted the wireframe. How could this idea look like? So we decided, because our persona is Patricia, we know she has an iPhone. So we decided, let's go for a mobile app and create a mobile experience about this entire Winter Wonderland. And we had different flows about a Christmas shop where you can order Christmas food and stuff. And there was also a drinking section, virtual drinks. So you can order your mulled wine and then send the same order to 4 nearby friends. Or if they're not nearby, you could also do virtual drinks and just set up a session with a recipe. So everybody can cook their mulled wine or whatever it is at home, and then meet together via video call and have this mulled wine or whatever drink all together. And I think because we had too many lines, this is also what happens. So you have like a whole online shop about sweets, a whole online shop about savory food, a whole online shop about arts and crafts market, and then you had this virtual drinks line. So you see how many different branches we had already. So because we are a team of 2, it's just Patricia and me, so we had to decide how to narrow it further down. And we did that based on what is the wow factor about this entire app. And Patricia decided it's the virtual drinks section. And that's why she moved on with getting the interactive prototype, first the grayscale, and then the visual design together for that, for that branch, right?
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for the summary. I think that was helpful for everyone who maybe hasn't joined yesterday already, right? What you can see is there are a lot of steps you need to go through to really come to the final wireframes and the final prototype. So I think it's really helpful to try it out and see what kind of results you get in the end. So this was the whole workshop about. You could learn to go through all the steps and work in a team together on one project and one prototype, and then share that with us. We had a lot of people joining us, a lot of teams joining us, and in the end we had also a few winning teams, right? Who got a little present, but in the end it was about learning in the end.
And networking. It was a big network event.
Yeah, glad you mentioned that.
People met other people from around the globe and formed a team with them and started working for 1 week together with a stranger, basically. So,
yeah, exactly. And this is something which is most of the time the most valuable thing, meet new people, new connections, right? And also to see how people are working together. I think I learned so much from working with clients or colleagues, because you can always learn something from each other. Also the collaboration between Stephanie and me, right? You always learn from each other. So I think that's super valuable. And the next step is the design part, the visual part, right? You can see that we already created the prototypes here. And then in the next steps, you really focus on one of those ideas. And because we had different ideas about the shops and the arts and craft and the mulled wine, we thought, okay, we are going to start designing one of those ideas, because we can't do everything. We want to test one of those ideas, and we decided on the mulled wine virtual experience. This is the wow factor of the whole prototype, because this is very special and really helps people to get together. And during the research phase, we kind of realized that this is a very important part of the whole Winter Wonderland experience of all the Christmas markets, because people meet there and they connect and they do something together. So it could be with friends or family or colleagues, but having a drink together and something like that, and then having a chat and talking. So it's about networking in the end, right? So we already prepared the wireframes here, where you can see the little videos and stuff, and there you have different information about the ingredients, preparation, and also event infos, right? And in the next steps, we want to visualize that. We want to put a visual design above and test that with users, right? And before we do that, I really love to do a mood board. This is what I do most of the times, and because it's really helpful to come up with with the visual design and the way how it should feel in the end, how it should look like. Because it's always a challenge to decide on colors and on patterns and on the whole design language. That's, it can look very, very different, and you need to decide on something based on the feeling you want to transform with your design. And what you can see here is we put different design elements here on that mood board, a lot of emojis, little illustrations, but also a little bit about the coziness of the mulled wine experience, where people come together. But not so much about the classical, I would say, coziness of the Winter Wonderland, the, a little bit snow and little snowflakes and stuff. More a little bit, I would say, modern, focused a little bit more on the younger generation, here with bright colors and very, very positive, and also different emojis, illustrations. And this actually happened, or we were talking a little bit about the colors, what would be great colors. And first I tried out green and yellow, because green, of course it's because of the trees, the Christmas tree is green. So I thought, okay, that might be looks super nice. And then Stephanie and me, we talked about that and had a discussion, and she thought, okay, maybe we can also use the app after Christmas, so it doesn't really need to look super Christmassy, and maybe choose something that's a little bit more like positive. And then she came up with the idea of integrating the colors of the year from Pantone. And you can see them here, actually. It's a gray and it's a yellow. And I really loved that idea because also Pantone, actually, I don't know, but I assume that they chose those colors because the year 2020 was not the best. So it's like kind of gray, but the next might be like yellow, positive. There's like this silver lining, golden lining, you know, on the sky already. So this is like the positivity, which you can see, and my micro, which you can see and always integrate in your life. So there's no reason to stay in like the gray mood, but always there are always like this, like the peaks of positivity and connection and all that, right? Although we are all at home and locked down right now. So I really love that idea.
I also want to highlight their mixed messages and mixed opinions about the color of the year. And you always need to see it. The color of the year by Pantone is just in general the color of the year. You don't have to stick with that. It's like a predicting trend in any kind of design. And I think a lot of people, they think, oh, now every app needs to look gray and yellow and stuff like that. But it's not all tied to just an app or something like that. So I think it also comes a little bit from the architectural trend of everything, leaving it in bare concrete, and concrete is gray. And then when you put yellow, furniture in a gray concrete block, it just pops and it looks nice. So I think a lot of these inspirations from these colors, they also come from other sorts of design areas, and not only graphic design or UX design or UI design or something like that. So it can just be applied everywhere. And I think that was immediately what I was thinking of, like this leaving everything bare concrete and then just furnishing it and having this trend of industrial interior design, which is very great. It's a great style. I love it. So yeah, I think that's where I see it immediately. So it's not all, now we only have to do gray and yellow websites. No, that's not how it is. It can be an inspiration, but also you see like Patricia build up this beautiful color scheme up there. So maybe if the gray and the yellow is too not too dark or not contrast enough, then of course just change it. Like, change it, make a bit of a darker gray so you have that contrast that you need for people to read text. But if you have a concrete wall and a yellow chair, you don't need you don't need any more contrast because there's nothing to read or something like that. So it always depends, where is it, and it should be like a trend, in which direction a trend is going. So as you can see what Patricia is doing, I think this is great because now you can read the yellow font on the dark gray background. And if it was the lighter gray, you wouldn't be able to read it anymore. So it's not like this is the color and we stick to it. It's just like it's a trend for the next year. But yeah, let me know in the chat what you think of it. Or also, someone is saying clothes. Yeah, clothes. Isn't it nice? Like having a yellow jumper and a gray trouser or something. I mean, it's a nice combination, right? It applies to every sort of design. So yeah.
Absolutely. I think great that you brought up like all the other disciplines. I think that's totally right. So in the meantime, I already started with a little bit of design. So I already created an artboard here, which is the iPhone X. So I am usually starting with the design, like the artboard size of the phone I'm having, so I can test it right away with the Adobe XD app. You can just find that online in your app store and test that on your device. Only download the Adobe XD app, which is really nice. And then I must say that although we did the wireframes already, I really love to do like some sketches. So this most of the time looks like that, right? Like where I'm scribbling a little bit, the interactions. I can recommend that actually to everyone. Looks super messy, but that's completely fine. I also do that for clients when I'm working with them. It looks super messy, but I don't show that to them. It's only for myself so that I know what do I need to integrate. Because sometimes it's a lot of work actually when you start with everything like on the screen right away. And if you want to do, if you want to test different things and want to, make sure that you have everything included in the design. I think it's really helpful to start with some sketches with just like pen and paper. So I can recommend that to everyone. Yes, and what you can see here is I started with some kind of like, you can also see that in the wireframes, but here's like the little home screen where you start, you have the event, like also like a little reminder, like a positive reminder, like no one can cancel Christmas. And then you can see yes. And then you can also add new events. So let's get started, I would say. So we have some kind of a home screen, something like that. We will like get back to that later. With some design, but that's not super important. So let's start with the home screen. So this would be some kind of like the starting splash screen, and then we are going to design the home screen. So I'm just going to copy the artboard with Option and then drag and drop it to the side. And now we are going to design the different, I would say like cards, right? So first we want something, we are going to use the same, I'm going to save the color here. So we already have that, something like that. And then we want to have the, what is that again? This could be an event, mulled wine. Something like that. Let's see. I actually chose 2 fonts. I think both look super nice. One is the Termina. You can also download them from Adobe Fonts. Just download them to your library and use them. So mulled wine, like that, looks good. And then also the day. So this would be today. So we have an coming up today. And for that, I'm going to use the Prohibition, this font. It's a little bit big, so get like a 12 above. Nice. And then what do we need? We need people to, who are invited to that specific event. So this would be like maybe like little profile pics here would be really nice. So let's see who's joining there. Be like 3 people. This could also be like an ad. It could also be a little bit bigger, right? Like that. Here, this looks nice. Then one of my, actually not of mine, but like one of the best tips we can give you, because actually I got the tip from Steph, is to use the icons for design plugin. It's also for free, and you can use a lot of icons there. And I must say that I really, where is that? I'm not sure if I clicked on it. And I really love that, because you can use that for your own design. And most of the times, at least like when I'm designing, I'm always using the same icons, which is like a plus, settings, back and forth, and those kind of things. So for me, it's really helpful to have some kind of a library you can use to get started. So we created this little button here. I'm just going to make sure that it's aligned. Then I'm going to create a component so I can reuse that afterwards in the library. So Command K, library, going to name that button plus, great. And then let me see where it is. Here we go. Adobe Live. There it is. And then I made a few screenshots of different people. So we're going to add them here. Steph, Rufus. There it is. This event. Nice. Okay. This looks great. What also do we need? We need like a day here. This could be here somewhere. Date and a time.
Which text are you using at the moment? It's one of the latest updates from Max, right? Our text fields have changed. Which one are you using? And they have new names too.
Oh, interesting. True.
This one, the one that you have is when you type, it resizes automatically, which is pretty cool. So if you type any more text, you can try it, and it just resizes automatically. So it's not, you don't have to expand your text box anymore.
That's nice. See, we also have a calendar. What are with the people in the chat? Do you have any questions? Anything you want to know? Anything for us? What's going on in the chat?
We had a bit of a conversation about the colors. So some like it, some don't. Different moods, different history parts, but yeah.
Okay, I will show you something which is really cool later. Like
and that Boris should cancel Christmas, but guys, there will come a post tomorrow on my Instagram. So if you have humor about it, then check it out.
What's happening with like Christmas? Why should it be cancelled?
You know, I mean, like the numbers speak for themselves, and we had a regulation for Christmas in place. Now, according to the numbers, it should get changed, like in your country, for example. But now they don't want to change it because these were the rules they have already made, and people have made plans. So it's a never-ending discussion, and probably if they do change it, people will just break the new rules anyway. So
it's a difficult topic, honestly, right? Because I must say that most people really want to see their families, right? And
well, I would have wanted to travel to a nice beach like I do every Christmas, because if you don't have a family like me, this is what you love doing. Like last year I was in South Africa on safari.
I want to join, take me with you.
It was so nice. Like this was literally my last trip. I came back in January and it was so beautiful. I was on safari. I toured through the whole of South Africa, from Kruger National Park over Johannesburg all the way over to Cape Town, and it was just stunning. And this was my last holiday abroad, where I was on an actual plane and far, far away for 3 weeks in the sunshine. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to join. I mean, it sounds amazing, right?
If I could just if I was a little bit older, I could have gotten the vaccine last week, but I'm not. I'm too young. So, yeah. So I'm still sitting here, and I will spend my 3 weeks on the sofa behind there.
It's also nice.
Which will be part of tomorrow's post. So.
Okay, excited. Nice. I must say, I mean, I'm going home I'm going to see my family during Christmas, but after that, I'm going to work anyway. So yeah, very similar, always, as a freelancer or even like as a normal person, you always have something to do, I would say, right? Like, okay.
Actually, I was sent my grandmother's sewing machine, and my grandmother passed away many years ago. So my aunt was a professional seamstress. So we have scheduled some FaceTime calls. So she's going to teach me virtually how to sew.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, she taught me when I was young already, but how to get this old sewing machine back in action and getting some repairs done. That I usually just take things to the tailor and they do it for me. But now because of COVID, all of that stuff was canceled here or closed. So I'm trying to do it myself now. Do you guys have sewing machines? Pop it in the chat. Maybe someone can help me.
Okay. Something like this maybe. Then we have time for more events here. Let me see. A little bit of like the Christmassy thingy here.
See, what are you guys doing over Christmas? Oliver is also saying, I'm not spending Christmas with my family. First time I'll be on my own.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always on my own, and it's nicer on a beach for sure. But if you don't have a beach, start sewing, house deep clean, things like that. I also wanted to sort my pictures because I had been on so many trips, and there were still trips that I still haven't posted on my personal Instagram yet. So I was, when was it, 3 years ago or something, I was for 3 weeks on 4 different Caribbean islands. It was so beautiful. And I have such a huge amount of pictures, and I still haven't had time to sort them. So I will definitely post them. Then I was 2 years ago in West Africa. I still haven't posted that. So I wanted to, I wanted to just sort my pictures and post them on my personal Instagram as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys are doing.
I mean, traveling is nice during Christmas. I can definitely relate. I spent one Christmas in Mexico, but like 6 years ago or so, when I did my semester abroad, and it was lovely because all my friends and me, you know, we spent the whole day at the beach, and then we went for tacos later, and we did like a little gift exchange, and it was so beautiful. I will never forget that Christmas. Although of course I miss my family, sure, right? But in the end, it's just, if you're not like religious or so, it's just a day, right? Yeah.
That's exactly what happens. If you don't have a family and you're not religious, then you're happiest when you're on the beach. I can tell you.
Okay, so right.
Yeah, so a lot of people are staying home. And one is saying, Andreas is saying, I want to go to Indonesia for diving. Yeah, I would have joined you. But it got cancelled, of course. Yeah.
Diving there is so beautiful. I went there a few years ago.
I miss the fish so much, like the beautiful, colorful fish.
Diving is the best.
It's a stunning experience, even snorkeling and stuff. So, yeah.
Everything underwater, basically.
I think even Sea Life Center is closed. we can't even go there anymore. Or maybe it's open, not sure. But I think we are now in tier 3 here in London. So that means you can't travel to anywhere tier 2. And I think where Sea Life is located is somewhere almost Cornwall, isn't it? So they're the least affected area. So we can forget about Sea Life as well. Yeah, people are hoping for the weather to be okay. Yeah, you will be surprised. It will also come to my Instagram story because my tomatoes that I planted in spring are still ripening out there right now. Can you believe it? And in summer, I was on the Isles of Scilly, just off the coast of Cornwall, and I brought some flower bulbs home, and they're flowering now. So I have beautiful yellow flowers on my balcony in December. So I'll definitely, as soon as I harvested the tomato already last month in November, but now I have a new one ripening. So I will definitely put that achievement in my Instagram story the day I'm going to harvest that tomato for breakfast in December. Or maybe in January, who knows? There are a few more tomatoes. So maybe I will harvest another one in January.
This sounds nice, though. But it's not that cold, right? How's the temperature in London?
It's never that cold, but I haven't checked that long. So it's not like in your country where you have snow and stuff. I think we only had snow 2 or 3 years ago.
I'm in Berlin. We don't have snow here.
At the moment, it's 11 degrees. So.
Okay. Okay, that's okay.
11 degrees.
I mean, that's nice, actually, right?
Yeah, I mean... A beach in 26 degrees would be nicer, but
take me in, you know.
It's okay. But speaking of stuff, I also have mint and lemon verbena still growing out there. So with your virtual drinks event, I could actually just go on my balcony, live harvest my mint, and just boil water and have a mint tea, and then join your virtual drinks in your app that you're just building.
That. I mean,
we have like a recipe. Everybody go on your balcony or in your garden right now and pick the leaves.
So, by the way, I am using a really cool tool right now. So I'm here to choose, like, to start a new event. So the task here is to choose a drink, and we are going to offer different drink. It's not only mule wine, right? Because some people don't want alcohol, some people want minty, right? Like Steph. Yes. And you can choose something for the whole team. So you all prepare the same things, and we're going to offer different drinks. And so I created one of those cards, and I clicked here on, oops, I already clicked on it. So here I have that as a group, and then I click on repeat grid, and then I can just like repeat it. Nice. And then I can edit everything. So it's pretty easy actually. So I'm going to expand the artboard here. And this helps me to scroll in the end through all the different options here, right? So besides the mulled wine, what else? I made a few spicy hot chocolates. So made a few, already wrote down a few ideas with like a little copy text. Most of the times I am like putting the copy text in like I'm just writing it down on Pages or Google Drives to send that to clients or so they can approve it. Or depends if the projects are bigger. We usually have like a texting person who does all the texting, which is also really helpful because then you don't need to do that.
Yep. So we have a lot of more messages here. So a lot of people are just staying home with their own family or alone. Sandrine is also saying she hasn't seen her family for at least 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I hadn't seen my sister for 1.5 years until she visited me in August for a week. Yeah. And now she's gone again in another country and we can't see each other because of travel bans. Rob is saying he can't see his older daughters because he's working. Yeah. Everyone stay safe. Andy is living in Cornwall, so yeah, you're indeed very lucky. And Oliver also has annual flowers in the garden. Yeah, see, I'm not the only one. It's a London climate. We're in tier 3, but we have tomatoes ripening and flower bulbs flowering.
I mean, that's really nice.
Yeah, think positive.
Yeah.
Melanie is saying first Christmas staying at home. 3 weeks relaxing with nowhere to be. Yeah, same here.
So, back to a little bit more positive topic, which is very depressing, the topic of...
No, that we have beautiful things. Like Andy is saying he lives outside of Newquay. Beautiful, stunning there. Okay. I was there in summer. Beautiful long beaches.
That's nice. You don't want to stay home in Berlin, right? It's only gray. It looks like this, you know, like the Pantone color. Berlin is so sexy in winter. It's horrible. It's super depressing. I'm not joking. It's true. And we have like the yellow trains here in Berlin, like the BVG, like our trains here, like the metro is yellow. So I am 100% sure that Berlin inspired the Pantone tones. I didn't want to say it, but I'm pretty sure, right?
That's so funny. And Angus is saying he's picking winter raspberries from his garden. See? And he needs to cut grass. Go for it. And Sandrine has a catnip flowering. See? I'm not the only one.
Okay, friends. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch to prototype mode real quick. And what I want is that the area here stays there and that when I'm scrolling, the cards are laying above. That's, I think, really cool. So I'm going to click on the fixed position when scrolling icon here. And then I'm going to test that. Going back to design. A few adjustments here because I need to fill here the color. And then, oh, wrong screen, right screen. Nice, okay, cool. This looks nice. Okay. This was pretty quick. And now we need to hurry. Okay. Now I need to do design the page for the event and then for the single steps. We'll do that real quick. So we chose the mulled wine experience here. I think that's, something you can't actually go wrong. Mulled wine is always a good idea, I think. A little bit bigger, something like that. This looks nice. Okay, then we need the friends here. I'm going to just copy them from the artboard here and then change that.
Stuart is asking us how many years have we been UX designers. So I have been, well, I was a bit, like when I started my career, started with graphic design, then I was a film editor, and then I went into web design, and then I did my master. And I think after my master, really, I think I started with real UX design, and then I only had UX design jobs. So maybe for the past 10 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah. What about you?
I think it's 6, something like that. So I started with graphic design as well, like you. And
Classic.
Classic, yes. And then I switched to UX after my studies, actually.
I did my bachelor in media design, so I had all sorts of things. I just wasn't sure which sort of thing I would like to do in real life. Stuart is asking, master in what? I did my master in sustainable design in Brighton University.
It's a really interesting topic. I think like sustainable design, right? It's like very important, especially right now.
And that's where I read all these books about UX and the psychology books and how to do the paradigm shift. And the main focus was how to guide users away from print-based media to save the trees. And this is what brought me to UX, really, because only with UX, only if you give people a value, you can create that paradigm shift. So that at least was my conclusion out of this master. Only if you give them a value, then they will change. Yeah. Do you code as well, or do you pass your designs to coders? So I did HTML and CSS before, but that was like 13 years ago or something, so a long time ago. And then when I was focusing on UX, I just purely focused on design, but I was working with a development team in the past all the time. So there were always 6 or 10 guys, depending on the size of the project, and 1 or 2 designers. So me or with another colleague or on my own. So yeah, I've always been working with developers and I can communicate with them because of my background, but I just can't code anymore because so many things have changed. And also like especially with the mobile and that stuff, what they use now is just a completely different framework. I also did, we had JavaScript and we also had Flash ActionScript, if you remember that, long time ago. Bit of PHP. So I understand the logic of it, but I just don't have the patience to find my bugs. So I left this to the guys. They were better at that, but I can communicate with them. How about you?
Yeah, similar. I mean, I learned that. I'm not doing any coding right now anymore. Same like you, because it's like so. I'm super slow, and from time to time I'm doing like prototypes where I'm doing some kind of coding, but then they're more like AR, VR things using Unity, for example. But I must say, if it's possible, I rather work with a developer, honestly, because they're so much faster and can solve the problem so much better than me. I
agree. That's why it is an own job. And I feel it's not my job. So, it's someone else's job. Whoever can do it better, and a lot of people can do it better than me. So I leave it to the pros.
So here's another really cool feature, what Steph just mentioned, because we are going to offer the people some kind of an option where they can order specific ingredients to their home, or if they're having all the ingredients for that specific event at home, that's also fine. So they don't need to buy them, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to change that.
Lauren is asking, do you believe in UX unicorns? No, I have them here and they do nothing. They look and they sleep. That's it. I can tell you that. And Caroline is having a hiccup. Or what is it?
Okay.
Some activity going on in the chat today.
Okay, nice. This is good to hear.
And Andy is saying I can code, but I'm interested in design. I would like to be a full stack developer, but it's hard to keep up. Yeah, it is. That's why it's an own job. It's an own profession. And a well-paid profession.
Quick. So I went to the prototype, and now I want to link specific artboards because like the time flies so fast. So I would definitely want to show that. So here we have the different events. Here's the event page for that. So if you select the mulled wine experience, you will get here to that page. You can add specific friends, you see the ingredients, you can change the date, and also decide if you want to order the ingredients or not. So you can actually, I think like the gray looks very brown, right? Or is that just in my eyes?
No, it looks great to me.
Okay, nice. So if you choose that, if you click on that button, you go to that page. So I selected the button, then you have the little wire here, and you can just guide that to the next artboard, right? And then we click on tab, transition, and choose the transition, for example, auto animate, overlay, scroll to previous artboard, auto playback also, right? Like integrate some cool Christmas sounds and some speech playback as well. And this is really important for the prototyping when you want to click through the whole process, right? But to test the prototype, we need actually like the most important screens as well. And there are the virtual drink experience. So how does that look? We will need to go back to the design part and create a little, I would say pictures, and because like the little video frames, right? So that you have all the little video frames there and also the different steps. So you can like go through the different steps of like making mulled wine all together. And because time flies, I prepared already a few things here. So this would be an event where we have, I would say like 4 different friends joining. So, and then we will change the pictures here. What else do we have?
We still have a conversation going on about developers and designers. So some sort of things, they hate designers.
Why?
Yeah, and Oliver also said coders hate everyone. I completely disagree. Like my coders were my family for many years. In my previous job, I was only working with coders and we were best friends at the time. We traveled the world together. We stayed obviously in the same hotels. We even did sightseeing outside of work together. So no, coders are great. And we rely on one another because they can't work without us designers and we can't work with them. So it's a symbiosis. So be kind to one another.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting that this comes up in the chat because it's so much about like communication, and sometimes you're frustrated from each other because it's like throwing something over the wall, like here's the design, please do that, and developers are like, what? You know, why didn't you say something earlier? We can't do that. And then like everyone's frustrated. The designers are like, oh, they can't do anything, and developers are like, why don't they say anything and ask us before? So I think communicating early on is the most important thing, like probably what you have done with your, or what you did with your colleagues back then, right, in your previous job. If you don't do that, everyone is frustrated and hates each other in the end. And this is the worst, because then you can't solve any problems at all.
But we were extremely agile. So they started development on the same day as I started design. So we were working with each other the whole entire time. So if anything wasn't possible within the time frame of the contract of the client, they told me that, and I changed my design according to whatever was possible in the code. So it's not only that we designers, we say, do this, this, and that. This is the contract, and we are a team, and we have to stick to the contract. How we do it is our business. So you always make compromises, like from both ends, and it worked. So no, I love developers.
Interesting, you know, this kind of like discussion. Yeah. Okay, so what else do I have? The ingredients would be important, right? If you were in the event, like an ingredients section here, and then we have like the different cooking steps, prep steps.
Tony. People are asking us about Tony now that you have put the picture up. I think Tim can answer the questions about Tony.
I don't know. I needed a few people, so I just like did a few screenshots here and there, actually from your Instagram account.
Cool.
With the wall in the background. Yes. Event preparation.
And if you don't want to have drinks with Rufus, me, Tony, then you can just use some plugins in Adobe XD and choose random faces. Oh, and Emma.
Oh yeah, true. Actually, I did that before, and it looked a little bit like those.
Looked like I don't want to have drinks with them. So let's choose Rufus, true. Emma, Tony, and Steph instead.
I love that. And true. No.
Being blind. Yeah.
Add wine. I actually already have the text here, so I can just put them in. Add wine. This was step 2. Oranges. Step 2. Step. And in this step, we already finished step 1, so we already added the wine. So now the oranges. We need to edit the orange, and this is what I would like to see here. The type a little bit smaller, and then we have that on the side, so you can also scroll back. Here, middle. This looks good. We have that here. And then we have step 3 here already on the side. Step 3.
Are you ever using content aware and stack groups when you do these cards? Because I started using them all the time.
Stacks, yeah, I mean, for a proper design, for sure, that's really helpful. I mean, we can show that really quick. We don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, I think this is a great example to show it.
So if you group something and you click on the stacks, here you can decide how if you want to, if you change something in one group, then the rest adjusts. And I think that's really helpful, because if you have a design, and if you're not 100% sure like where to place specific elements, you don't need to do like the pixel pushing anymore, because you have the the stacks and the auto layout function, which is pretty cool actually, because you can just adjust all the steps here. Try it out; it's really cool.
Yep.
So I'm just going to design one more, and then we will make that interactive and see how that looks. Step 3, oranges, add cinnamon, add spices. Great.
Is this a nut? What is this?
This?
No, this is, I recognize it, but the other one on the right
Actually, this is like a hazelnut.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find any spices emojis, so I thought hazelnut, you know, like nutty flavor.
There's chili, or not? Is
Where?
that chili emoji?
Chili would be great, but not in a mulled wine, but in the spicy hot chocolate, sure. We need actually, if you want, integrate the chili emoji here in the spicy chocolate, right?
I was just thinking of that. I'll give it to you. Because I'm in your file, so I can
see it here.
I can break it all right now. No, of course not.
Okay, whoa. Okay, we already have that here, and then we want the step 2 here. 12. Ah, there you are. Nice.
Here, a chili for you.
Thank you. We actually need that here in the spicy hot chocolate. You can just insert that here. Great. Cool. Perfect. That's nice. Not here actually. On the other screen.
Wait a second. Which screen? The second one.
Yes. With the spicy hot chocolate. And we would also need like honey or something like that for the sweetener. So here would be great if you have like a honey emoji for that space here. Would be nice. And then I'm going to link that real quick. So we are here. Clicking on step 2 would guide us here. Clicking on step 3 would guide us here. And then also back here. Oh, this was not very smart. Let's go back. So first to the second one. Tab is right. Transition, all animate. That's nice. Maybe a little bit slower, depends, so that we can see that a little bit better. Same here. And what you can see is, it already uses the same settings for, oh, nice, the honey. Thank you.
And a bee.
Oh, cute. I love the emojis. That's so cute. So we can integrate that here. Nice. Okay, let's try how that looks. Okay, so there is no auto animate. Let's see. Let's see. The important thing with auto animate is that you name the objects you want to auto animate the same name. So you need to have the same name for those components. So this is the name.
The question
Got it. Because it's in a group.
We have a question. Is both of you working on the same screen? A feature of XD? It's co-editing. It's co-editing. You can invite all your friends at the top right where you see this icon of a person with a plus sign. That's where you can invite all your friends to your document and you can all work together in XD. Mm-hmm. I'm a bit cautious of time. We have almost come up to the hour.
Almost. Okay. Orange.
Almost. Two more minutes.
Any last questions from the community?
Boris has said the Christmas relaxation will go ahead, but there will be rule changes. Like just take your own decisions. I think you just need to be aware who you're going to meet and make sure you don't put others at risks.
Yeah, that's true. I think great. So totally right. Yeah, that's always the thing, like putting other people in risk, and there are so many risk groups, and yeah, you just need to be cautious there. I agree.
Stuart is saying Patricia has fast average time on something like this. Long time. Patricia is a pro. That's why she's fast.
Yeah, and that's, you know, yeah.
And she has prepped a little bit.
Also, I prepped a little bit.
Just a little bit.
That's the thing. Otherwise, I would need much more time to just think about, okay, what would I want to do? But an hour is so fast, and we wanted to show you the whole experience real quick.
And how you can easily just build with design and prototype mode, a quick prototype. And then obviously you can always go to share mode and create the share link and send it to all your friends and family who you can't see, and ask them, hey, could you test my app and see what they say? So, yeah.
I also integrate a little nested component here. If you want to, yeah, we'll probably show that in another live stream, or there are also some cool tutorials, but here you can click through, and you know, we wanted to integrate a few face filters which are funny and nice. There are actually like a few features we haven't really shown. So another idea was when someone is not when you're waiting for someone and they haven't joined yet, we would like to show like the Grinch image. I think that's super funny. And I found some really cool, nice images here, like, you know, imagine like waiting for Emma to join, and then you have like this cute little face here of the Grinch, just like as a joke. I think that's really funny.
Nice idea.
Also cool if you think about like nice fun features, and we had like a few of those, you know, like the little Christmas reminder, you know, no one can cancel Christmas. Then you could also integrate, like, you know, go back to the design mode and add a button here and something like I agree or something like that.
Yeah, you can do loads of things if you have time. That's why our Winter Wonderland was also just for 1 week, obviously. And and within that week we had to fit everything, and also our teams had to fit everything. So we set in our Winter Wonderland as well, everything can, nothing must. So, and this is what you have done in this hour as well. So this is what you have achieved in 1 hour, and that's a lot. And I think it's great, and also a great idea and a great start to really show how quickly you can work in XD and bring something to life and then test it. So, and how quickly I can add chilies and honey to it.
It's cool, right?
It's still down there. I still wasn't sure which. I didn't want to mess up your animation.
Oh, good. I will do that later.
So it's there. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for the active chat, for all the discussions. A lot going on. And yeah, we probably won't see you this year anymore, Patricia, will we?
No, yeah, so this is the last week of the streams, right? So
enjoy your holidays. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. It can't get worse than this. So yeah. But thank you very much for doing the Winter Wonderland with me, for hosting that with me, and also thank you so much for doing the 2 Adobe live streams with me together as well. It's always a pleasure working with you. Yeah, it's always so much fun working with you. So thank you very much. And thank you guys for the active chat. And thanks to all of you who joined our Winter Wonderland. And yeah, we will be back with something new in the next year.
New beginning, right? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a good Christmas.
Bye.